Hey, what's happening? Happy Saturday, everybody. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, so I'm going through the news feeds this morning. I've been up for a couple hours now. And there's a lot of stories. I always love when I do a video and then the next day there's even more stories about the subject that I talked about the day before. It makes me feel like I picked the right video, even if a lot of times it doesn't get all the views. There's a lot of times it takes a week or two to get views, but I really like when that happens. So today there was a lot of stories, a lot of articles about how Trump, people are laughing. The word I saw was cringeworthy for the Trump NFT cards, the story I did yesterday. So anyway, I'm looking through the stories and I couldn't really find anything to talk about. And then I remembered something that happened to me yesterday morning after I made my video. I'm going to tell you about that. Sometimes my life is a better story. I know, I bet you, the reason I talk about this is I guarantee the same things, the same kind of strange stuff happens to you guys. I hope it does, at least. I hope it's not just me. So this happened in an elevator here in my building yesterday, and it was with a policeman who stepped into the elevator with me, and I still have not been able to figure out what this guy was talking about. All right, let me start at the very beginning here. I did a video before. I live in a very large apartment building. It's mainly older people, probably over 40, about half retired. There's a portion of people that are disabled. There's no kids in the building, no kids, no animals. It's mostly older, retired people. It's not like disabled or elderly housing by any means. It's all, you see people going to work every morning, getting their cars and going to work and everything, But it's mainly older, single people. And I talked about this before, how I met a police officer. Now, I live in Bristol, Connecticut. Okay, and we all know what happened. Unfortunately, the terrible incident that happened about a month and a half ago, about 2 months ago, in Bristol, Connecticut, with two police officers. And I talked about how a policeman lives in this building. This isn't about him. This isn't a whole nother policeman. Okay, well, let me start yesterday. So it was raining and snowing yesterday morning, and I usually take my walk around town, about an hour-long, 4-mile walk around town, and it was just an icy rain yesterday. So I had a little extra time before I went to the workout room to work in the exercise room. It doesn't open till 8 o'clock. So I started thinking about making another video, like the one with the levitating book. So I remembered that there's a basement in this building. And the elevator goes down to the basement. It's a creepy place. So, the place is pretty deserted. It's about 5 a.m., 6 a.m. here. So I take the elevator down to the basement. I don't see a single soul in this whole place, right? So I go down to the basement. Now, the idea I had was I had this baseball with me, and I wanted to make it roll by itself. Okay, so I'll just tell you that was my idea. This has nothing to do with what happened though. So I go down there and I'm messing around, and I'm in the elevator trying to figure out how I want to do this trick, this video illusion. And all of a sudden, the door's closed. Somebody needs the elevator. So I kind of panic because I'm in my head. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do this. I talked to you guys in the other video about how I kind of get sidetracked. I get in my own mind, like when I'm trying to work on a problem like this, and all of a sudden the doors start closing because it's going to go up. So somebody called the elevator. So I'm like, I'm all nervous. I got my workout clothes on. I look kind of weird, and I'm holding a baseball. It's 30 degrees and raining out. So I stick the baseball in my hoodie. The elevator goes up to the first floor, and the door opens, and who walks right in but a policeman, a big, tall policeman, probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And and I'm just speechless because I don't how am I feel like I was doing something wrong. Also, I might add that recently there was a rash of car thefts in this area. So the police have been increased patrols. So here I am, dressed weird with a baseball in the elevator. So the policeman walks into the elevator, and right off the bat, he starts saying, sometimes you got to go all the way you got to take the ride on the elevator all the way down and all the way back up again, huh? So I'm like, what? I just go, yeah, like, what are you talking about? Then it starts to click. the guy was waiting for the elevator, and he must have saw that it was down in the basement. I was dead. So this gets even weirder for me, because the cop already knew that I was in the basement all by myself in shorts with a baseball. Okay, in the dark. So all of a sudden I just say to myself, you know what? I'm just going to just start talking, the truth. I didn't do anything wrong. So I start talking about the basement. Like I went down there to look. There's a ping pong table down there. It was all dark. There's a ping pong table set up. It's a big open space with chairs set up for, socializing. It was all dark when I went down there, though. So I start talking about that. I got to mention, too, this policeman was going, he quickly said that he was going to visit relatives in the building. That's why he was there. And he asked me what floor I was going to. I was going to the blank floor, and he was also going to the blank floor. I don't want to tell you guys what floor I'm on. All right, so I start talking about the basement. I was like, geez, I never knew there was a ping pong table down there. I said, this place is so big. I've been here for a year and a half, and I'm still finding out stuff about this place. This is where it gets weird. So the cop, we're getting up to the floor where we're both getting off, and I start talking about the ping pong table. This is what the policeman says. He says, I know. He says, I talked to the people here in the building about that, and I was telling them how it's dangerous. So, dangerous, a ping pong table. Says, yeah. He says, sometimes, people can get angry and hit each other and throw the ping pong paddles at each other. I told my friends in this building that's dangerous. So I don't know what to say to that. That's the weird part. It's already weird that I'm in the elevator with the baseball and everything. But then he starts talking about how ping pong paddles are lethal weapons and shouldn't be in the recreation area of our building. Now, and part of me wonders, maybe this guy's just nervous. He seemed like a great guy. I got to tell you that. Right? You get the first instinct from somebody, your first gut feeling from somebody. And as soon as this guy walked in, he seemed nervous. He did. For a policeman, he seemed more nervous than I was. The way he just started talking, about going up and down the elevator and ping pong paddles and and asking me what floor I was going to and so on. And but he seemed like a good guy. He might, you never know what somebody's story is. You don't know what's going on. Something might have just happened in their life. They might have a big thing going on in their life. Divorce, job, whatever. And sometimes people just rattle on. I do that. But the ping pong, so we get off at the same floor, and we start walking. I'm just about 3 feet behind him. And he says, okay. And why he says this, I don't know either, because we're walking right behind each other. He says, okay, I'll see you later. Have a good day. And I still have to walk behind him because my apartment's past the one he's going to. So I'm like, okay. And I keep walking behind him, which is weird. He just said, bye, see you later. And I'm still walking right next to him. So I asked him again. I said, are you sure you're going to this floor? He said, yeah. It's getting weird. It's just getting even weirder. The guy turns off, and I see the apartment he's going to. And then finally, I said, now it's time to say, you have a good day. So I said, you have a good day. He says, you too. And I keep walking. And honestly, this just stuck in my head for a while after. Honestly, I was almost a little, I gotta say, insulted. Because it almost made me feel like does he think the people in my building are insane? Are all dementia patients or something, that they can't handle a ping pong paddle? That's the first thing that was, I was kind of a little bit offended that he thought that the residents of this normal apartment building with normal people going to work every day couldn't be trusted with ping pong paddles. But then, like I said, I start thinking, you never know what's going on in somebody's mind. You never do. I know there's plenty of days where, one thing hits after another, and you're in your head, and you walk into the bank, and somebody starts talking about this or that, or cars, or the weather, and you're just like, you're on a whole nother planet. And I probably seem bizarre to some other people. So here's the really good part. I had left my video running on my camera by accident. When I was trying to make the illusion down in the basement. I didn't realize this till later. And it was pointing down at the floor, and the whole conversation with the policeman was caught on video. I had no idea I was going to make a video today about it. Yesterday I was having problems with my phone. It was the charge was going incredibly fast, like 10% every 10 minutes was going down. So I just got rid of a bunch of stuff, a bunch of files, including that video. This morning I'm trying to pick it out of, I threw it out of the trash, the recycle bin. So I'm trying to find it again. I was like, I gotta play this video for my viewers so they could hear this bizarre conversation, because it's all on tape. And it's thrown away. So you're just gonna have to go with who'd make this up, really. All right, so I let me know. What do you are ping pong paddles lethal? Should they not be in apartment buildings? Should older people not be able to? Should there be licensing for ping pong paddles? I don't know. You guys have a good Saturday.